Hi, my name's Brian, and I donated my kidney to my dad. Watching my dad go through dialysis was actually very painful. All the stuff he had to do, he had to hook up his machine. It was just a rough 2.5 years for him, and thinking that he'd be all right going through that. That's why I started doing this research on how to give my dad my kidney. I decided to donate my kidney because I wanted to see my dad live. He was going through all the dialysis, and I was very, tired of seeing him go through that. He had a need for a kidney. I had the ability to fill his need and fix his problem in a very simple way, and that's why we go ahead and did that. When I started researching doing a living kidney donation, what surprised me most was that not much would change for me. I just have to continue doing a healthy diet, but not much really in my lifestyle would have to change. Another thing was a lot of testing. They do go through a lot of testing, so that was surprising, but very helpful, and we're very glad we were able to go through all that. My family worried that our whole lives were going to change if we did this before we started researching that. So that's what I really learned, was that going through all the research, knowing that it was safe, really changed our minds and everything. There's always the possibility that I could die or something could happen to us. So that was very on our family's mind, and we all talked about it, went through it, and were very reassured by this. I didn't have too many fears about going into this procedure because we had gone through over everything thoroughly through the doctors, and I'm the kind of person that doesn't really want to know too much about what's going on. So I knew I was in very good hands. Of course, I'm always worried, and you have to be nervous and scared to go into something like this. But through it all, I was thoroughly prepared from the staff, and I felt very good about it. I was able to resolve all my fears and doubts just by, getting a little bit of information, talking with my family, and that really calmed all my fears and doubts. I was worried about finance. I didn't know how it all worked when we first started the process, but I was completely covered. I didn't have to pay anything. Most of the stuff went through my parents' insurance. Having a support system like I had has been the biggest thing, I think, for me. So my family was extremely supportive, really took away the doubts and the fears. That's the biggest thing in my mind, was how they were going to react to it. Very happy that they were supportive. My parents were very supportive. My friends, coworkers, everybody I came in contact was extremely supportive. Kind of made me feel like a rock star. It's kind of cool, but I could have done it without any of them. I did need to make a few lifestyle changes before I donated my kidney. I just really worked on living a healthy lifestyle, try to eat the right things. I started, a year ahead of that, but pretty much was just continuing to do what I was already doing, but more exercise, just living a healthy lifestyle. Just basically, we should all be doing that all the time. So I didn't have to change too much, but that was probably the best thing I did, was just focus on that for the months before that, and it really made things easy. The total procedure took about 3.5 hours plus recovery. I did go home the very next day, about 2 o'clock. So I was there at 8:30 was when my surgery started, and by 2 o'clock the next day I was checking out. So it's an amazing process, and I've been very lucky. The best moment after surgery was seeing my dad, having him, go over to see him in his room. I was able to look into his eyes and not see yellow for the first time in many years. That was probably the neatest thing, was seeing the white of his eyes, and just know that we both made it through and we were both healthy. I was actually back to my normal self close to 9 days after surgery. My last appointment was 8 days after surgery, and they told me that I could go back to work the next day. So that was 9 days after surgery. I probably about 14 days I was completely covered, and felt the right back to normal, like the best I'd ever felt. So that was the very short recovery, very awesome for me. When I was recovering at home, I did take it easy. A lot of things I couldn't do, lifting things. I was able to get up, move around a lot. My goal for me was to get to my neighbor's barbecue on Saturday. I had surgery on Wednesday, and that I was able to go to her barbecue for a few hours. So that was like a big thing for me. So that's one thing I could do, was just get up and move around, but just not lifting too many things, taking it easy, being smart. That's the best thing to do. After donating the kidney to my dad, my health has not changed at all. I do the same lifestyle I've had before. I do try to watch how to eat, try to exercise. but nothing's really changed for me. Luckily, I haven't had any problems at all. It's been actually a awesome, great experience. Overall, the thing that surprised me the most was how quick my recovery was, and how my lifestyle hasn't changed. You would think going through a process like this would change everything in your life, but actually it's been the same, and I've been a very lucky person, so nothing has changed through this process. Looking back, the best part about donating my kidney was obviously saving my dad's life, and just knowing how your family loves and supports you, and the people around you who care about you, they have gone through the process with you. So that's the biggest thing